Hello YouTube, it's Lion here with Hobbies of a Man once again, and today we are talking about another book. So we're going to do a book review on Space Witch. This is volume 2 of the Star Justice series, written by MSE or Michael Scott Earl, published by MSE Publishing, and the genres this time are space opera, science fiction, I guess you could call it military sci-fi. Yeah, there's no adaptation, and I quite liked it anyways, so yeah. The premise here is that after escaping from Electa Nata, or whatever that company is, from TRAPPIST-1E, the planet from the first volume, Adam, Eve, and Z find themselves on this moon that has, for some reason, a very Western theme. So it's like everyone's a space cowboy, which as a Texan, I thought was super fun, but I would never do in real life. Walking around like a cowboy is pretty much social suicide in my opinion, but whatever. Anyway, they have to find supplies, and in order to find supplies, well, really buy them, they have to have money, and so they need to find a job. So they go through this Western town trying to figure out what to do. Eventually, they find people to employ them. Turns out, though, the people that want to employ them are on opposite sides of this, like, Hatfield and McCoy style feud. Yeah, they have to survive whatever life throws at them at this point. Eventually, they do manage to make it out alive and go on to a different planet. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy reading this. Actually, I thought it was really good. So on to the actual review section. The plot is good. I really enjoyed myself with it. I thought it was much better than the first one. The first one really took me a while to like get into. This one was a lot faster, and I think that's actually because I already knew what was going on, because I already knew about Adam, Eve, and Z, right? So it's a little faster to get into, or well, a lot faster. The stakes are way higher. Adam feels like he's gonna die like 4 times in this book, and each of those times you're like, he's not really going to, because there's 10 other books in the series, but like, you're like, oh, he might die, he might die. And it's like interesting to read, right? So, and there's a lot of like emotional, romantic kind of tension. So there's like the plot line isn't just action, it's also a lot of not drama, but like emotion related tension, interpersonal relationship related tension, which I think is good. I really enjoy how this takes a lot longer to get to the harem elements. It takes its time. It kind of develops the relationship between the 3 characters much better than the other 2 series I read by MSE. So yeah, basically, like I mentioned in the premise, like the setup of the whole story, but there's also like a secondary thing where they have to go to another moon and essentially become freedom fighters for a volume, because these people are getting attacked by this mega corporation, and Adam and Eve are basically swore to each other that they would protect the weak and innocent and stuff, and Z is just kind of along for the ride. She does eventually turn around and like realize helping people is more important than living in luxury, but kind of takes a little bit of time to get there. But yeah, lots of twists and turns, really interesting action, and yeah, it's like, I always think of these as like B-tier action movies. They're like good enough, and they have like little moments of like really good stuff in them, but overall they're really just like quick, enjoyable, turn off your brain and like entertain yourself for a little while kind of books. And I enjoy it. The characters here are pretty good. Adam, Eve, and Z, I really just mentioned it already, but they develop a lot emotionally. They kind of find themselves and each other throughout this book, and it kind of sets up really nicely for the next one. I already read it, so I know what's going on. But it's good. I enjoy the Space Cowboys, although I don't remember any of their names, but one of them is a woman and the other one is like an old guy. And they have that whole like Western villain type of vibe to them, and I really enjoyed it. The other character that was interesting was Jaral, who is like the leader of the freedom fighters on that other moon. He was like an ex-miner turned fighter. He was like a pacifist guy, but now he's like, I gotta do what's right for my people. If that means fighting, we gotta fight. Pretty cool character. Really enjoyed just kind of how everyone interacted. It was nice. The world building here is pretty great. I like the addition of the Space Cowboys a lot. I thought it was cool, and it kind of makes sense. Like, the lore is that a bunch of random people would just like climb into these giant arc ships. They would get shot into space, and then they would make it somewhere and then live the life of colonizers. And so if you kind of have that setup, you can see where like random groups of people are just going to join together, be like, we want to live our life the way we want, and we don't want like the conventions of this society to affect us. So we're just going to go somewhere else and live a different way. And that's how you can get one planet that's very Asian inspired, like in the first volume, and then this moon that's like very Western, and then that other moon in this book that really feels kind of like Arabic, maybe, I guess. I'm not really sure, but like Middle Eastern-ish a little bit. At least that's kind of the idea I get by the fact that that moon is where the #1 commodity of the world, of the universe is. You know, that moon has a lot of rhodium, which is starship fuel, essentially. And it's kind of like a desert place. So that's kind of where I got the fact that it was like Middle Eastern Arabic kind of thing. It also gets attacked by a mega corporation. So yeah, it was a little on the nose. But this commodity kind of functions as the equivalent of spice in Dune, or the Kyber crystals in modern Star Wars. Like, kind of the same idea here. So I enjoy that there is that one super mega commodity that everyone needs. It also adds an interesting way for our characters to get money is by helping these people. Then these people give them express gratitude by giving them this super valuable material. So it's cool, I guess. There's cyborgs, and then they introduce this thing that's called the Queen's Hat, which is this giant space station, which is shaped like a sombrero, if I remember correctly, which is cool. I like it. And yeah, art, there's none except the cover, which is really nice. There's no sexual content in this book, so no fan service. If I remember correctly, I think there's like one scene that you could be like, oh, that's kind of racy, but not really. And yeah, so I rate this a 3.5 to a 4. It's kind of the same rating I've given all of these, and it's always the same thing. It's like, I don't think it deserves a 5 just because it's not comparable to, like, you know, high literature in the sense of like Brandon Sanderson or Orson Scott Card, or like, well, he was racist, so maybe not him. Frank Herbert, stuff like that. So I can't compare it to that. And if I do, it would really be like, yeah, this is like a 1, right? So I'm basing it more on how I enjoyed myself and how much effort I felt the author put into it. And I do feel that the author does put effort into his books, or at least enough to keep you interested. So I can't give it lower than like a 3. And I gave it kind of a, like, between 3 and 4, because I really enjoy myself reading these, even if they're not like that great. But that's enough rambling about a stupid number that doesn't really mean anything. Yeah, so I recommend this. It's fun. It's interesting. I hope that if a lot of people read it, he'll do print editions, which would be super cool. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you guys very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought. And yeah, see you guys later.